Alright, how's it going, everyone? Today we are looking at the Here's the Storm patch notes. This is now on the live servers. This was previously on the PTR. This is patch number 51, and this is June 23rd, 2020. In this patch, they did three major things. There's a new Nexus Anomaly, which we'll get into. There's a new hero, MEI, that I'm sure everyone has heard about, and a rework, I believe, for Malganis, which was unforeseen. A lot of people wanted a Diva rework, but that just didn't happen. We assume that there's one in the pipeline from what they've told us over Reddit, but it's still to be seen. Hopefully we will get it before the end of this year. So, MEI, a new hero. A brilliant mind with a sunny disposition. MEI joined Overwatch to help solve the world's growing cloud problems. Armed with a host of weather-altering technologies, MEI now fights to protect her friends and secure a future for troubled world. Her trait, Cryo Freeze, encases herself in ice, gaining a rapidly decaying shield that absorbs 1,104 damage. While active, this shield grants Unstoppable and restores up to 35% of her maximum HP. It has a 40-second cooldown, and it's very similar to Johanna's trait. There are a lot of things that I don't like about this ability just off the base of it. For example, the 1,104 damage shield isn't that crazy. Johanna's level 1 makes it actually a bit better than this, and it also has a rapidly decaying effect to it. The 35% maximum HP regain is interesting, but this isn't a ice block. It grants Unstoppable, so she can't be stunned by things to get her out of it, but let's say a Malfurion root can still easily be procced on her once she's out of it, leaving her very open and vulnerable. If she cannot reactivate to leave this mode, it makes it very easy to kill her, which is a very weird ability for a tank. Her basic abilities, Snowblind being her Q, she throws a snowball that hits all enemies in an area. Enemies take 70 damage and are slowed by 35% and are blinded for 1.5 seconds. It has a 35 mana cost and 10-second cooldown. It's a very low damage ability. I believe there are talent tiers that will upgrade this. The mana cost is fairly low. In comparison to Johanna's, actually, so MEI's cooldown is shorter by 2 seconds, but it's a blind for 1.5 seconds. It is a very powerful ability, and it definitely places her in an interesting area for the meta currently, because auto attackers aren't really the biggest thing right now. Blizzard, her W, command a snowball to create a blizzard at the target location for 2 seconds. Enemies within the blizzard take 13 damage every 0.25 seconds and are slowed by 7%, stacking up to 35%. When the blizzard ends, enemies within the area take an additional 75 damage and are stunned for 1.25 seconds. It has a 70 mana cost and a 14-second cooldown. Icing, her E talent, slide quickly in the target direction. When this effect ends, enemies near MEI are knocked back and take 52 damage and are slowed by 80%, rapidly decaying over 1.5 seconds. This is a very strong ability. It has a 70 mana cost and has a 14-second cooldown. It costs more mana than her ultimates. It's very interesting that they made it cost this much. I've seen a lot of combos already with this, but that we're going to go into in our future video on MEI, using Icing plus her other ults to do some pretty insane combos. It's a very strong ability. It also gives her a ability to escape or to engage. I wasn't sure when watching MEI, like when seeing other people play her in the PTR, how effective she was going to be with an engage. This ability is actually insanely strong in the right type of scenarios. Moving on to her heroic abilities, Avalanche, R1. After 0.5 seconds, roll a massive snowball that consumes enemy heroes in its path. At the end of its path, the snowball crumbles and releasing the consumed heroes, dealing 220 damage and stunning them for 0.5 seconds, they're missing a word here, per hero consumed. It's a very interesting ability, like a moving maw that also has like an actual stun effect to it. It's interesting that they have a 0.5 second per hero consumed addition to it. This does add some interesting mechanics, so this is going to be something that I think is going to have lots of bugs attached to it, but we will see. Ice Wall, her other ultimate. After 0.75 second delay, create an impassable wall that traps enemy heroes hit for 2.5 seconds. When the wall expires, trapped heroes are slowed by 75%, decaying over 3 seconds. Massive slow. This ult is better on some maps than others, and I think that's going to be the main deciding factor for it. I think Avalanche is going to be the main one that most people choose. Ice Wall is kind of like Tacitur's Wall. It has an issue that's a 0.75 second delay, which means that you're probably going to have to use your E here, and then you're going to have to Ice Wall them. I mean, you're going to have to engage on the other side of the wall. That's like how I'm thinking about it, but we'll see once we jump into the actual try mode for her. For MEI's talents, level 1. Heavy Pack, increase the duration of Snowblind slow by 100%, making it 70%. Each time Blizzard damages an enemy hero, reduce the cooldown by 0.125 seconds. So it does 8 hits per hero essentially. So assuming you get an entire hero, like let's say a 5-stack in this. So if you hit an entire team with with Blizzard, you can reduce Snowblind's cooldown by 5 seconds total. Chances of you hitting everyone with that ability is very low, but it still reduces the cooldown by almost half. It's a very good level 1, but it's very situational, which might make it a lesser picked talent. Ice Storm. Every third hit of Blizzard against enemy heroes deal additional 45 damage. Blizzard's final stun damage is increased by 125% against all enemies. So Blizzard's final stun damage is increased by 125% against all enemies. So that makes it do like 160 damage at level 1. So that's pretty good. It gives her a bit more burst. It's not that crazy of damage though, unless she has other talents that increase maybe her spell power. Honestly, Mei could be very oppressive with an Ana. That's gonna be very interesting to look at as compositions. Her other level 1 is Heat Transfer. It's a passive ability. Basic attacks against rooted, stunned, or slowed heroes deal 33% more damage. Each time Mei stuns or slows an enemy hero, she heals for 18 health. This, I think, is going to be the strongest one. They haven't mentioned what her auto attack is, if her auto attack slows or anything like that. I'm assuming it doesn't, or else they'd mention it. Maybe it's just a basic auto attack, but she automatically roots, stuns, and slows heroes. So pair this with maybe like an offlane Arthas or a Jaina. Jaina would be pretty good with Mei. She's going to be healing a lot, especially off of her Blizzard. That's 18 health per every quarter second. That's really crazy, especially for a level 1 before it scales. Level 4, Slush Ball. Snowblind now deals a 50% increased damage and structures hit are disabled for 3 seconds. Cold Front, her E, if Mei enters her own Blizzard while icing is active, the cooldown of icing is reduced by 7 seconds and she gains 50 mana. I was talking earlier about how her E talent is the most expensive ability in her kit, even more so than alts. I think this talent is going to be a must pick for her, especially for mana management. We're going to see how bad she is with mana management, but my guess is that she's going to be one of the worst heroes for it, especially tanks. So I think this seems like the strongest one in her tier. Crystallize. Reduce the cooldown of Crowd Freeze by 15 seconds. Mei gains 50 spell armor while Crowd Freeze is active and for 2 seconds after. Really good against double mage comps, very situational, and it increases her trait ability. I mean, 15 seconds is a long time considering it's almost half. It's almost half the cooldown reduction, right? 35% reduced. That's pretty good. However, the spell armor's not that crazy. It all depends on what you're up against. Mephisto right now has been in the meta for the last like 5 months, so it's pretty good as is. Really depending on how the meta changes within the next few weeks here. Level 7, Induce Hibernation. Enemy heroes inside of Blizzard's area have their damage dealt reduced by 40%. When Blizzard ends, enemy heroes within its area gain this effect for an additional 4 seconds. Insane. This is Zool's level 16 talent on a level 7 for 4 seconds after it ends. I think this talent's insanely strong. This is my biggest complaint to Zool, and seeing a level 7 talent have this is insane. When icing ends, grant Mei and nearby allies 20% movement speed and 50 physical armor for 3 seconds. Interesting. You can get Crystallize and Skating Away, so she has a lot of armor ability. Cassia is going to be that much stronger against Mei, especially with all these armor talents. Very interesting. Not a lot of tanks have full armor talents like this. I actually enjoy. I like how they're doing this so far. I like what they've done with her kit. Backup Battery, an active. Activate to remove all roots and slows and regenerate 20% of maximum health over 2 seconds. The cooldown of this ability is reduced by 10 seconds each time Mei picks up a regeneration globe. They don't state what the cooldown of this active is, and that kind of angers me. I don't understand. This could be good. It could be 5 minutes, and the 10 seconds doesn't matter if it's a 5-minute cooldown. I'm going to assume that this is all right. It's a self-cleanse and a regeneration of 20% maximum health. It all depends on what the cooldown is by itself. Level 13, Flurry. Her W. While in her own Blizzard, Mei gains 50% increased attack speed, and Blizzard's cooldown refreshes 75% faster. If Mei is in her own Blizzard when it ends, gain these bonuses for 3 additional seconds. Her W build looks insanely strong because you have reduce damage, increase attack speed, and cooldown refreshes faster, making you able to spam it, and an increased damage on level 1. Her W build seems like it's the strongest in her kit. It looks like they focused a lot into that. Cooling Servos, her trait. Basic attacks slow the target by 20% for 1.5 seconds. While Crowd Freeze is active, Mei's basic cooldowns recover 200% faster. Wow, that's crazy. Also, this answered the question earlier if Mei's basic attacks slow or not because of her character in Overwatch doing that, meaning that she just has a regular auto attack. It's going to be very dependent on how fast she attacks, if this is worth it. Basic attack slow the target by 1, so I'm assuming that she has a regular auto attack speed of 1.1 based off of just this. This is a level 20 talent on level 13, and her cooldowns recover 200% faster. That is really crazy. Polar Vortex, a passive. Using an ability causes MEI to deal 24 damage a second to nearby enemies for 4 seconds. Enemy heroes damaged by this effect also have their moon speed and attack speed slowed by 20%. So really good against melee heroes. This is a level 16 talent with burn attached to it on level 13. This level 13 tier is really powerful for me. This probably, so far, this is the strongest tier of her kit. She's a very strong hero. I think that she's going to be very oppressive in range so far, and she's going to get a lot of nerfs. We'll see. I don't want to have a knee-jerk reaction to it right away. Level 16. Fresh Powder. Snowblind gains an additional charge and its range is increased by 33%. 2 charges and range increase at level 16, that's kind of lame. If you're against heroes that you need blinds for, you're with a Cassia, I can see the value of it, but it's not that crazy, especially for a level 16 talent. Black Ice. Icing slow effect no longer decays over its duration. Icing deals 300% more damage to enemies very close to me. Another time where very close, not very definitive. It's going to have to be a test type of thing to see how close very close is. Is it right beside them? Is it a range of 1? Is it a range of 5? I mean, it all depends. It probably is a range of like 2.5, which is like auto attack distance for most heroes. Acclamation. Each time MEI slows or stuns an enemy hero, the damage she deals and healing she receives is increased by 1%, stacking up to 20 times. While at maximum stacks, MEI also gains 10 armor and lasts for 8 seconds. This isn't that bad if you go the auto attack. Cooling servos. Yeah, if you go cooling servos with Acclamation, it doesn't seem that bad because you only have to auto attack someone once every 8 seconds. Has to be an enemy hero though, and she gets 8 ticks off of her blizzard, so she can be very stacked very fast. It'd be interesting if her auto attacks had a cleave because it would make it very easy to get this stacked. In most situations, I don't think that you'll be stacking up to 20 times entirely, but maybe. The 10 armor also goes really well with her other kits. It makes it very possible for her to have 60 armor at some point throughout the game. Very strong. I'm very excited to read her level 20s, especially seeing what they've done with her other parts of the kit. She's very strong. Level 20, Cascade, her R1. Reduce the cooldown of Avalanche by 25 seconds. While traveling, Avalanche constantly launches a volley of untalented snowblind snowballs ahead of itself. Shatter, her R2. When Ice Wall expires, trapped enemy heroes take 210 damage and have their armor reduced by 25 for 5 seconds. 210 damage at level 1. That's all right for damage. It's not that crazy. I don't think it brings that much utility. This actually seems kind of weak. It sets up other combos. Like if you had a MEI with an Orphea, that'd be pretty insane. I think you could do a lot of damage with it. Yeah, I think that this is definitely a very situational alt upgrade that you'd only want to take if you have mages or something else that can actually set up. Like an Alarak with this would be crazy. The big one. Every 15 seconds, your next snowblind has a 66 increased area and 200% increased damage. So at level 1, let's see, what is that damage? 70 damage, and it's 200%. So this makes it do 140 damage baseline. There are other Qs that make it do more damage, I believe, right? 50% increased damage, and structures hit or disabled for 3 seconds. 50% increased damage. So I wonder how that stacks. If it's in talent here, let's see, is there level 1? Just the slow. So baseline, the damage from Snowblind is 70 damage. The level 4, 50% increased damage. So with the level 4, it makes it do 105 damage baseline. And then with the 200% on that point, that makes it do a lot more damage. It makes it do 210 baseline. Okay, wait a second. The big one, so if you go Q build, you actually have the same damage from 1 Q as your R2, ignoring the negative armor effect, which is fine. I mean, it's level 20, but like 210 damage now seems really low considering that with 2 talents, so level 4 and level 20 gives you the same damage as your R2. I think this damage needs to be increased, or the Q needs to be nerfed, one of the two. Flash Freeze. It's a trait. Upon taking fatal damage, MEI instantly gains Cryo Freeze. This effect has a 180 second cooldown. She's instantly put into Cryo Freeze because gaining it makes it sound like she gains like the charge back, but no, she just gets put into it, which again, not that crazy in my head because you're still standing still. I don't know if you can cancel your Cryo Freeze early or not. Could you imagine if you were spamming your D button, you die, and then this activates and you cancel your D early and you have 1 HP? I can see that happening. I do that. Okay, and the Nexus Anomaly. All right, if you enjoyed the MEI portion of this, we will be doing a entire overview of MEI right after this video here. If you want to check that out, feel free to. Also, I'm live on Twitch every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so feel free to stop by as well if you enjoyed. Moving on, we have Nexus Anomaly, a call for help. So this was the original anomaly. The developers changed the way the towers work from my understanding. Firstly, thank you all for your overwhelming amount of feedback related to the call of help. We appreciate the time you took to write out your responses, and it greatly helped us make a decision on where to go going forward. In regards to the changes, we decided to keep the tower aggro systems with some adjustments. To help reward aggression in the laning phase of the game, we are removing both the negative armor debuff the front towers used to provide and also reverting the aggro system to no longer prioritize heroes who attack other heroes in their range. Forts, keeps, and the core will still prioritize enemy heroes who attack other heroes, which will make them stand out as more important structures to both defend and take down. We will continue to monitor how these changes play out, and will adjust the system more in the future if we believe it to be necessary. So I'm a Maltheo one trick. I hated the tower changes, and I love this change. My biggest issue with the tower changes was I'd push up a lane and then I'd lose the lane because I can't keep on stepping up as a melee hero. It really incentivized ranged heroes to abuse that system. It really abused people to walk into abilities to take damage to cause the targeting. So I really enjoyed this change, and I'm glad they kept it on the forts, keeps, and core. That makes the most sense to me. I like this change. And now for the most drama-ridden part of the patch notes that everyone seems to hate, but that's a vocal minority, I'm sure of it. These changes are made for quick match and AI players. They're not really made for Storm League players. Just so everyone's aware of that, they need to understand that Storm League is very tiny in the grand scheme of things compared to quick match and AI. The new anomaly adds climate change phenomenons, which deal different things. They changed a lot of the things, so we're gonna see. From what I've seen on the PTR, people were really angry that there wasn't a clock to show you when it was gonna happen or what was even happening. So this is gonna be very disorienting for new players, I think, but I'm still excited to see where it goes. Strange weather disturbances have been spotted across the Nexus, with realms experiencing rainstorms, snow flurries, and foggy mists. MEI's arrival is just in time to help analyze and study these strange weather conditions that have begun occurring. Climate Phenomenon is our newest Nexus anomaly, bringing a variety of fun weather effects to the game. Each battleground has a specific type of weather event that will occur every 4 minutes, with the first starting at the beginning of the match. This is a good change. This now makes it so people understand what the change does. Each weather event lasts for 2 minutes before clearing up. So it's only... That's interesting. That means half the game is affected by weather anomalies, which doesn't seem... This is going to be a very interesting thing, especially because this is coming into the new Storm League season, and having these changes be wonky, very, very scary. Each weather event lasts for 2 minutes before clearing up. This cycle will repeat until the game ends. While these weather effects are active, heroes gain a unique buff based on the type of active weather. These buffs are rainstorms. Strike all heroes with lightning every 25 to 40 seconds, increasing the movement speed and granting a lightning shield that damages nearby enemies. The buff lasts for 8 seconds. Movement speed is increased by 15%. Damage nearby enemies for 46 damage per second. Okay, this is a lot to break down here. So it's random in the sense that it's every 25 is the shortest and 40 seconds is the longest. And that's every it's within 2 minutes. So you have the possibility of having 4 rainstorms happen, or 4 lightning strikes more accurately, because it's just a raining storm the entire time, to a minimum of 3. I guess minimum would be 2, because you can't... We're gonna say minimum of 2, maximum of 4. Very interesting. So it's like Rhaegar's shield. A lot of people make complaints about this, that it has the same animations as Rhaegar's shields. So I'm gonna be interested to see if they change it at all. Snow flurries. Heroes activate a small shield over time while out of combat. Heroes gain 28 shields every 0.5 seconds, stacking up to 224. 8 stacks total. Shields last until destroyed or until snow stops falling. Both of these changes so far, the rainstorm and the snow flurries, seem to really be affecting melee heroes. And as a melee bruiser main, I'm really excited for it. This one doesn't do much for ranged heroes, I feel, other than the movement speed maybe, but you're not really kiting any different because everyone has a shield. The snow flurries is kind of better for tanks, I guess. Foggy mists allow heroes to gain stealth after standing in shrubs for a few seconds. After standing in a shrub for 1.5 seconds, heroes gain stealth. Stealth lasts for 40 seconds or until attacking, taking damage, or using ability, or until the foggy weather dissipates. I don't understand this one. I don't see what the benefit of this is. It just seems like a waste to me. It just seems like annoying to deal with in my opinion, but we'll see. Weather events will be active on these battlegrounds. Rainstorms will be active on Garden of Terror, Sky Temple, Warhead Junction, Brax's Holdout, Dragon Chart, and Blackheart's Bay. This map should be removed. Snow Flurries will be active on Cursed Hollow, Infernal Shrines, Volskai Foundry, Alterac Pass. Foggy Mists will be active on Tomb of the Spider Queen, Battlefield of Eternity, Hanamura Temple, and Towers of Doom. Alright, and general fixes. AI. The maximum fall distance for AI agents has been increased from 5 to 7. Thank God, though I wish they'd just fix AI in general. This will allow melee heroes who are following ranged heroes to attack at maximum range. Not all of them though, right? Because Hammer has a longer range than that, and so does Chromie have longer range than that? Or is Chromie's range 7? Either way, this is a nice change, but I feel like this doesn't exactly address the issues. This was a big add as well, the favorite talents button. A new hotkey named the Quick Talent Selection, favorite, Control plus tilde, that's right underneath the exit button for anyone that doesn't know, has been added under the hero management section in advanced hotkey settings. You can press this hotkey to select the favorite talent you've pre-picked when the quick talent selection panel is open. So you're gonna press Control then tilde, because Control opens up the panel, just to clarify that. So Nexomania has been added to the Nexus. Nexomania II is the summer event for Heroes of the Storm, running from the week of June 23rd to September 7th. This is PDT for the time zone. They have a bunch of new skins. If you want to read this, you can. It's just like some lore, essentially. Loot chest. During Nexomania 2 event, all loot chests you earn through progression, Heroes Brawl, or by spending gold will be Nexomania 2 loot chests, except for hero-specific chests, which will remain unchanged. Most limited time items shown above. Isn't it below? It's below. Anyways. Whatever. Shown above will have a chance to drop from Nexomania 2 loot chests only. You can also score items from previous year's summer events, limited time loot chests. Okay, so it's a bunch of skins. You got the Pajama Party MEI, Nexoway Champion Bundle. If you want to read these, you can. They're just a bunch of skins, essentially. Add new mounts. Also, MEI was added as an announcer. And there's several new portraits, sprays, and other items have been added to the collection. Storm League. With the upcoming 3rd season of 2020, we want to make some changes to reward the structure of Storm League, replacing gold rewards. Starting with Season 3 of 2020, we are removing all gold rewards from Storm League, end of season prizes, and seasonal quest lines. This will also affect Season 2 rewards. The new seasonal quest line reward structure is as follows. Nexomania 2 chest after 5 wins, a rare chest after 15, and an epic after 30. Awful change. There's so many there's so many new players in this game that cannot get all the heroes unlocked because they're too expensive. It costs like, I think I did the math at one point, there's like 3,500 games to unlock all the heroes without a stim pack. With a stim pack is not even that much better, but like still it's an insane amount of time they have to invest to unlock all the heroes. I don't like this change. I think they should have kept the gold and added in chests. Like, what happened to the mounts? Why do they need to remove both, right? Like, speaking of mounts, I guess. Storm League reward mounts. Since the inception of Storm League, we have received lots of feedback about the retirement of ranked play reward mounts. We have heard you, and we are extremely happy to announce the return of exclusive Storm League mounts starting next season. Ultimate and final reward of 2020 Season 3 quest line will be the Regal Tiger mount, which was a free mount if you got a Here's the Storm like bundle from like a retail location, which is like $20. Which will be awarded after winning 50 games in ranked play. So just in general, okay. It doesn't matter what rank you get. That's an interesting change. As of Season 3, you won't have to wait for the end of season to claim your early earned Regal Tiger. It will become available as soon as you complete the 4 steps in Storm League questline. The mount will only require you to win 50 games and will be granted to players in all leagues and divisions. As usual, we're happy to listen to your feedback. Please share your thoughts with us. I like the exclusivity that if you were a higher rank, you got a better mount. I wish they'd bring that back, but it's fine. It's whatever. Moving on. Heroes Rework. Malganis. Vitals. Health reduced from 2,500 to 2,450. Regeneration has been reduced equally as well. I think this was way more extreme in the PTR, so I'm glad that they kind of reverted a bit. Basic attack damage reduced from 100 to 92. Damage reduced from his Q from 69 to 63. So in general, he has like a 5% nerf to like his base stats. It's kind of a big nerf. I didn't think that Malganis needed a change. He was kind of oppressive, but he was oppressive because the other tanks were just not good. You had ETC, you had Johanna. Those were your 2 options. If both of them were banned, you're like, well, I guess I'm taking Malganis, right? Vampiric Aura, level 1. Additional functionality. Malganis heals for 30% of physical damage dealt. This used to be... Okay, well, this is something we actually loaded up pots for, just to see what they exactly changed with it, because sometimes they're very misleading in this. Vampiric Aura. Malganis heals for 30% of physical damage dealt, and nearby allied heroes heal for 15% of physical damage dealt. That's a pretty good change. Alright, so Malganis heals for 44 HP when damaging a nearby enemy hero. This was reduced from 52 down to 44. However, this healing is doubled if they are damaged by Fell Claws, Malganis' Q, and can occur once every 6 seconds against each enemy hero. So very good change. Level 4, Fueled by Torment, was changed from 15 to 20%. Might Asagarsa no longer reduces the duration of Necrotic Embrace. Pretty good change. So it just increases the armor to 50. Very, very good change. I know a lot of people actually like this talent when going with the health swap talent. It just makes it even better now. Echo of Doom. Explosion damage increased from 50 to 54. No longer increases the duration of Necrotic Embrace when its explosion damages enemy heroes. Additional functionality. Gain 5 mana and reduce the cooldown of Necrotic Embrace by 0.75 seconds for each enemy hero hit by its explosion damage. Level 7, Nightmare Fuel has been entirely removed. Black Claws. Let's go read Black Claws here. After Malganis hits an enemy hero with Fell Claws, his next basic attack deals 60% more damage, reduces the armor of enemy heroes by 15 for 2 seconds. Will of Tichondrius, which has a new functionality, so I'm just gonna read it. Each enemy hero hit by the first 2 slashes of Fell Claw causes the final slash to steal 1% maximum health from enemy heroes, up to 4%. If at least 4 enemy heroes are hit by the first 2 slashes of Fell Claws, then the final slash stuns enemies for an additional 0.25 seconds. So before, it used to be, I think, 6% health steal. So this is a bit of a nerf, but the stun is kind of interesting. This makes Malganis less tanky, but also more of a tank. So he can't absorb as much damage. However, he can stun for longer. So he's more of a CC god, you know? I actually don't think this is I think it's a good change. Spreading Plague, adjust functionality. All right, let's read what Spreading Plague is. After casting Night Rush, deal 30 damage per second to nearby enemies. This effect lasts for 5 seconds, and basic attacks against enemy heroes refresh its duration. Does not wake sleeping targets. Spreading Plague effect now starts when Malganis begins Night Rush instead of when Night Rush expires. Very interesting change. It's pretty straightforward. Nightmare Fuel was, I think, one of the least picked talents on the tier, so it's good that they removed it. And made the other talents stronger to make it more balanced. Moving on to level 13, the Night Beckons. Additional functionality. Basic attacks deal 200% more damage to sleeping targets. Pretty good. It's a very competitive talent here, though. 13, most people go Blood Rush just because it's like a free 15% movement speed. I think this is still going to be the most popular pick, but we'll see. Level 16, Frenzied Assault. New functionality. Basic attacks against enemy heroes with a higher health percentage heal for additional 50% damage dealt. Basic attacks against enemy heroes with lower health percentage grant 35% attack speed for 2 seconds. This is a crazy buff. I actually used to love this talent. It just was very situational, so it wasn't the greatest, but very, very good change. This might be the strongest one on the tier. Blind as a Bat. Additional functionality. Enemy heroes hit by the final slash of Fell Claws reduce the cooldown of this ability by 5 seconds. Very strong if you have a coordinated team. Kind of weak on its own. I don't think Blind as a Bat's that great. It's good escape, I think, is what most people use it as, but it has some effectiveness. Vanquish the Weak. Slow amount increased from 15 to 25%. That's from his Q. And Alone in the Dark. Additional functionality. Reduce the cooldown of Night Rush by 4 seconds. Is that a baseline change? It's baseline. So its baseline reduces by 4 seconds, and enemy heroes put to sleep by Night Rush have their vision greatly reduced during the sleep and 2 seconds after. Very, very good change. Our main goal with these changes is to make Malganis' talent tree as a whole more interesting and impactful, while we need to slightly nerf his base kit to keep him at a similar relative strength to other compared warriors. We believe that these changes will overall help him with a powerful state, while also giving players more expression in how they play or how they want to play Malganis in regards to his survivability and how he controls the flow of battle. If you enjoyed this, feel free to follow me on Twitch over at twitch.tv/SmokeyDrago. I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, as well as check out my video that will be coming out soon for May. I'm doing an entire deep dive on her talents and seeing how they work together. So if you enjoyed the content, feel free to subscribe. Have a great one, everyone. Bye.